Taurus, it feels like someone is trying to get you back or prove that they could do things better this time around. It feels like someone's trying to prove their love to you right now, Taurus. So this message is for someone who has had a complicated situation with their person, whoever's on their mind and their heart, related to money, related to health. There's a theme about health here as well. There's also a theme related to the family too, having an influence on this connection. If those are some themes that you are working through in your situation, Taurus, and you're working through some challenging stuff right now, this message could be for you. If you are in a loving, healthy, pleasant, harmonious relationship, I don't want to waste your time, Love Cup. This message may not be for you. I have a placement out here for the connection, what the overall block is in the connection. And then I have a placement out here for you, Taurus, and what those blocks are for you. And then I have a placement out here for your person and what that block is, or those blocks are for the person that you're dealing with. This message will not resonate with everyone. It is a general reading. Take what's for you, leave what's not for you. My friend, my dear Taurus, do not feel like you have to force this message. You will know if it's for you, so you don't have to force it at all. So overall, the block right now is understanding how to move forward after all that has happened. And I'll break down some of the elements of what that is in just a moment. But this is moving forward in romance and trusting the love offer, the offering of love that's being put forth. You're not exactly trusting that right now, but what I'm sensing, Taurus, on your side of things is that there are some influences around you, family influences, I'm feeling strong, that have a say in some interesting way on your dating or on your love life, and that's having an influence. In the past, related to this block, Taurus, that you and your person you are dealing with, is the Six of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. The Six of Pentacles is all about give and take, giving energy, sharing time, sharing resources when needed. When someone is needing something, is someone willing to take the resources that they have, pull them together to help someone else. And so it feels like in the past, there either was someone who needed support and they were expedient and they got the support to them quickly, rapidly, with the Eight of Wands here, possibly had to send money in the mail, the movement of money, the movement of resources, maybe getting in contact with different people to help get provisions for someone here. Or maybe another thing that's coming up, Taurus, is that you needed support from your person and they weren't there the way that you needed them to be there, and it likely had something to do with a health matter, something that was important enough that could have been potentially a crisis. And I went a little bit deeper into this, and I got the King of Pentacles as well as the Page of Wands. And so just to confirm this energy, it feels like there's someone here who has the resources because they're showing up as the King of Pentacles here. So they have the resources, but this is a communication card. The pages often mean communication, a note, a word, you know this. And so with this being here, it sort of feels like flared up communication, like, you know, not following through with action, a very fickle, possibly immature, influence in some way that shaped a decision related to how to share a resource, share time, or share money in someone's time of need. So when I looked at the future here, there is some complicated things going on. You know, in general readings like this, it's common that there are going to be people who watch this that are in a connection. There are people who are not in a connection, situationships. It's all kinds of people that will watch a reading. But with the Nine of Cups being here, the Hermit being here, and the Two of Pentacles being here, this feels like confusing energy that has to do with we are only able to work this out, stay in this relationship, or move forward if we really get our priorities right about what's important, how to prioritize this relationship. Are we prioritizing personal selfish needs? Are we prioritizing work? Are we prioritizing ourself right now? And it kind of feels like at some point, if it has not happened already, there might be a small time of having a little bit of separation or going to a wise sage, maybe you, Taurus, or the person that you're dealing with, to just get some clarity about what is actually good for you and what is going to help make this connection last. But it doesn't feel like there's exactly this feeling of being on the same page about how we show up for each other when we need each other, how we show up for each other to show that we support each other here. I asked to go a little bit deeper with this, and then I have the Magician here, the World, and then I have a Seven of Pentacles in reverse. And so it feels like this really is up to you all in terms of how you decide to navigate this. With the Magician being here, that's the ultimate manifestation card. The World card is going to the next level, okay? And then the Seven of Pentacles is all about deciding if we need to restock this thing. Do we just stop right here and cut our losses? What was coming through as I looked at this World card, and then the Empress is here on your side, there is potential that there's an element where someone has to consider children in this matter, or there's a pregnancy here, and that's another important factor that's helping to shape towards this decision about, can we move forward? Can this be healed? Because there was something that I needed you with. It could be something related to pregnancy and health. I don't give health advice or pregnancy advice here, but this is kind of like a feeling that's coming up where there could have been a matter related to that, and Taurus, you needed your person, and for whatever reason they weren't showing up. I also get the vibe with this person that is in this connection that you're dealing with, or it could be you, but I'm feeling like beneath the deck there's the Page of Swords. I always think of that as my writing card, but we're not talking about that right now. The Page of Swords to me is a naive, kind of innocent energy, kind of like a know-it-all, but that it's just because they're still so naive. You know, when we don't really know a whole lot about love, life, and business, we think we know everything. It's when we begin to really grow in wisdom, we realize that we know nothing at all. And so the Page of Swords has not developed that yet. And so there's something about this connection that feels like the person that you're dealing with, they have kind of like a naivete about them, where they just kind of seem naive and not exactly as wise. They could be younger in age or younger in experience, or just a little bit immature about how they balance and prioritize things. Like maybe they're not able to really see the bigger picture here with Three of Wands here. That's being able to look out into the horizon. You've already done the the 2-wand deal. You've gotten through that process, and now you're expecting something to come. So that's another vibe too that I want to say. It feels like this person that is in this connection with you, Taurus, they feel like they're not exactly dependable, if I can just be completely clear and honest with you. Another thing that I'll say about this connection, that I'll move on to you, this could be a couple that has some type of distance between you. You might live alone, you might live in different cities and states. And maybe another thing that's coming up for someone out here who's watching this, is that when it comes to the travel, like, you know, I'm trying to come see you. Are you willing to put the money up to come see me? I'm taking a lot of my resources to come see you. It's even wearing on my health. Are you willing to come see me? And that hasn't been a really good give and take in terms of the travel and making this connection work. That's a very specific message. Then I come on over to you, Taurus, and the first card that came up related to the love block is adversity. And it says, I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. And then there's success out here as well. And it says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. I'll stop right there just for a moment. There is this feeling with you that love is around you. There's a lot of decision making that you do make, Taurus, because you are in love with this person. If you don't feel like you're in love with them right now, I can feel that, especially if you're not in a good place with this person. But there's something about this connection where, based off of trying to balance showing love and giving love in this connection, has definitely created this blurry kind of feeling about what it is that you should prioritize or what you should accept. You know how sometimes we'll like someone so much or we'll love someone so much, we might accept things or excuse things from people because we are invested in the potential of who they are. And it kind of feels like there's a little bit of that vibe here, Taurus. Then health was a card that popped out as well. It says, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. This feels like really giving, really giving. Could switch around the energies where Taurus, whoever you're dealing with, they're thinking you're not giving enough. That could be true. But from what I'm feeling and strongly feeling as a dominant energy is that this person is not operating maturely to give into the relationship the way that you are willing to, especially in your time of need. That's what this feels like as a block. And then courage and bravery was beneath the deck. So the courage and bravery is really important because your overall block here, I showed you the 7 of Cups, and then we also have the 5 of Wands here. This is inner conflict. Conflict with the person. Maybe you're having a little bit bickering, different ideas about how to move something forward, different ideas about what values to prioritize and how to do different things. That is an energy here, different action, different beliefs. But this also feels like an inner conflict that you're having. And this bravery card feels like it's all about that. Like, are you willing and able to confront the inner conflict that you're having related to this connection, because it's very real. And so another vibe that I want to point some attention to very briefly, didn't do that, is now this is another specific message that's coming through, is that there's someone's parent, there's someone's family member, there's someone's dad perhaps that is not feeling this connection at all, and is also making it a little bit challenging to really see clearly what it is that you want in this connection. And it feels like they see you as someone who's deserving of a deeper love, of a better love. They see you as, this single parent or a provider and needing to be romanced differently. But they also have this feeling that the person that you're dealing with is selfish. That's what I'm feeling. That's a very specific message. And that looks different. Sometimes it's just a relative, a sister or brother, but this is a strong energy card. This is divine masculine energy. So it literally could be someone's dad who is like, I'm not feeling this person that you're dealing with, or it's someone's mom. I'm not feeling this energy right now. So I asked God, angel, spirit guides, what is the potential? And I have the 10 of Cups out here. I have the Empress out here, as I briefly mentioned earlier, and I have the Sun. What this feels like is, I took a note here. Look at me getting all invested. A parent worried about that your person's not mature enough. They're worried about hardship for you. And so there's this deep desire with you, and from whoever's around you, if that storyline is landing for you, there's a desire for you to have all of your dreams come true, for you to have all of your wishes come true. But there's this fear that for those of you who might have children, or you're thinking about having children, is this person really going to be able to show up and be the co-parent or the friend or the partner that you really need? And so the inner conflict with you is related to being able to remove some of the cloudiness that love brings, so that you can really get clear for yourself. This is all about you right now, about what's going to be the best option for you. So that's a little bit about what your love block is. The love block for you, and this is beneath your deck, the 8 of Swords, feeling blocked in and having so many thoughts or ideas, or the experience that you're operating in. Again, it could be related to health, and it's got you in a place where you're like, I just can't really see right now. I can't see the forest for the trees right now, because you probably have people in your ear. You're probably upset about some type of thing that's happening in your relationship. You're like, but I really like this person. Maybe they're not showing up, but we all have hard times. It just feels like you're negotiating quite a bit in your mind right now, and it's creating some inner conflict. So that's the block that you're working through right now. If you stay on, I'll do some archangel messages to see how we can get a little bit more clarity for you if you're working through that, like what to do next. The person that you're dealing with, Taurus, for those of you who are dealing with someone, the first card that came out is healing energy. And so this is coming out kind of like in a resistance spot where I'm asking, what is the block? And so if you're working through health and they have healing energy, it feels like they're struggling to provide you with the healing, nurturing energy that you are needing. And then beneath their deck, they also have the Six of Pentacles there too, which is that give and take. And so imagination popped out for their block too. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. And then judgment here, and it says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And then beneath the deck on their side, it says failure. And it says, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. It's likely that recently something has happened where you've had to confront with this person that you're dealing with their part in this. So there's this standstill energy. When this comes out in a love reading, it just feels like everything has stopped. And maybe they've become stone about their part, what they're going to do. It just kind of feels like our relationship is not going to... Sorry, I don't know if it was still recording. I got a weird alert. Sorry. Our relationship is probably at a standstill until I get clear. And then what popped out to confirm that is the Six of Swords as well as the Five of Swords. So this is 5 and then 6 and then you go 7 and 8. So there's this process of trying to determine, like, this person on their end, I don't think they really realize how, I don't think they're self-aware. I think they're just seeing this as, you know, we've been fighting, we've been bickering. This has been a challenging, nasty, argumentative situation. And, you know, maybe I need to move on, or move on in my mind. The block for them is that they're not able to see how their part in this situation has been having an impact, right? That there's a mental shift that needs to take place right now. There needs to be a mental shift so that they can really see their part in this matter. Then I have the Eight of Swords for them in reverse on their side. And then I also have the Queen of Cups in reverse on their side as well. So this kind of feels like, you know, it usually the Eight of Swords in reverse is kind of like being able to escape and being able to see a way out of a blocking situation. But there's something about this side that feels like it's more about them kind of, I'm not cross watcher, I'm not trying to send you, but it feels kind of like a selfish kind of like emotionally dependent energy where, Taurus, if you've been working through some health things, or if you've been having financial needs, this person's thinking like, well, what about my needs? And what about my emotional needs? Like, I don't have time to think about what you need because it's like me first. It kind of feels like that. Because anytime we're like that in our energy, it comes from something, but again, it doesn't feel like they're really aware. Now, there was some type of painful deceit in the past because there's some heartbreak here. We have some Seven of Swords energy here. And I was having kind of a rough time with this, right? But this feels like an apology to you is due. And it kind of feels like they're looking at this like, can we move on? You know, again, this is the Seven of Pentacles. It popped up in your main energy too. So it's like another 6 and 7, 6 Pentacles, 7 Pentacles. Like, can we move on? Can we fix this thing? But it kind of feels like they're not really, they hurt you, Taurus. I do feel like in some way they hurt you and maybe even embarrassed you in some way. And it just feels like they're still having a hard time just accepting that maybe they need to offer an apology or address it. And I think that's where that immature kind of feeling is coming from, that maybe you and your friends and your family are thinking about, because they just really don't understand cause and effect the way that you understand it. It doesn't feel like you guys are, you both are in a place where you kind of understand the love language the same way. And then with this judgment being out here for the person that you're dealing with, they do feel judged a lot. It kind of feels like defensive energy too, that also might be in the way of them seeing themselves and being aware. They're almost feeling tired of being judged by other people, or people having something to say about them and what they can provide and what they can do. And I think that's also a compounding factor that's making them have a hard time just being real about their part. They don't want to submit to say, okay, you all are all right. It just kind of feels like they're like, no, I'm going to stay on this hill, you know, with this belief about my part in this, but they're struggling with that quite a bit. That is the reading. I know that was quite a bit, Taurus. I hope you're still on with me, making sense of this as it makes sense to your life. I'm going to get some archangel messages out here, and then we will close. Just any inspiration, any words that Spirit wants you to know carrying on. God, angel, spirit guides for my lovely Taurus. What do you want Taurus to know so that they can move on or have healing, have understanding? Okay, that's quite a bit. Okay, we got a little bit of a book out here. The first one out here says, admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. Okay, the prayer for this is, I appreciate your support in helping me face my feelings with grace and acceptance so that I can be lovingly honest with myself and others. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for giving me courage and strength. That's beautiful. Explore your options. The prayer is, dear God, thank you for your wisdom and love, helping me see, understand, and assess all of my alternative options. Please guide me in the best direction for my health, happiness, and life's purpose. This is very powerful right now. Very powerful. You're on the right path. Oh, thank you, God, angel, spirit guides. This is powerful. It says, Archangel Michael, I will call upon you now. Thank you for giving me loud and clear guidance that I easily understand. Thank you for motivating me and filling me with the courage and confidence to make helpful life changes. And the final one, a favorable outcome. Thank you for the beautiful outcome to the situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me trust and have faith. That is what I have for you, my lovely Taurus. I hope that it gave you some sense of understanding. Maybe you can glean a message from that helps you to get to your higher goal, higher purpose. That's the intention of all of this. I hope to see you next week in another 4 Paths Healing Tarot message. Take care. Bye.